So in this first video, I'm going to be talking to you about two main topics. First of all, exercise. Second of all, movement. Now, exercise and movement are both very important. I'm going to make the distinction between exercise and movement in that exercise is structured. We tend to have a particular format to it, whereas movement or physical activity is just at any point we're actually moving our bodies, and both are super important when it comes to improving our energy levels and our vitality. We need both. Now, I'm going to start by talking a bit about exercise. So not all forms of exercise are going to benefit you in terms of your energy levels, and depending on where you are in terms of your energy, in terms of your fitness, some could actually be quite detrimental. One of the things many of us don't realize when it comes to exercise is it actually is a form of stress, and too much of a stress, of the wrong kinds of stress at the wrong time, can actually be detrimental to our health and our energy. So not all forms of exercise are the right things to be doing, and it does depend very much on your individual situation. So let me elaborate a little bit more on that. So if you're somebody that is very low in energy, you're very fatigued, you're struggling to get through the day, maybe even bedridden for large parts of the day, maybe you've fitness is obviously not likely to be any good, or if you are very unfit, this information will apply as well. So the first place to start from that is just to get out, get moving your body. Anything's going to help you. So it's not really about doing the right thing as it is about doing something. So start off with some light walking, some really good forms of activity that are particularly beneficial when you're in this place. Is things like Pilates, yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong. These forms of more gentle forms of exercise can be very beneficial from a healing perspective, repair and recovery perspective for your body, because they don't place the same kind of stress on the body as more conventional ways of exercising that we might think. It's certainly more Western, should we say, forms of exercise. Now, there's lots of other benefits to this, particularly around the breath and improving the breath, which can also help benefit your energy levels, as I'll talk about in a later video. So that's really it when it comes to being quite low on energy. If you're somebody that's, your energy's, you've got enough to get through the day, but it's a struggle to get through the day, but you're just about getting by, then what I recommend is there's certain types of exercise you're less limited on what you can do, and there are certain forms that are going to be most beneficial. So there's certain benefits we're after, particularly when it comes to energy. Most forms of exercise give us a variety of different benefits. Now, one of the most important things we're looking for if we're to improve energy is to improve the function of the mitochondria and increase the amount of mitochondria that we might have in the cell. Now, mitochondria are tiny little organelles that we find in every cell of our body, apart from our blood. They are more concentrated in areas where we need the most energy, such as our brain and in our hearts. And it's their job to produce what we call ATP, adenosine triphosphate, which is the fuel, the currency that makes everything happen in your body, from simply moving to thinking to all the enzyme pathways, digesting food. All of that happens using this ATP, which is the energy currency of the body that is made up from oxygen and the food that we consume. Now, we want to improve the way that's happening. So the best way to do that is to get more mitochondria. So there are certain types of exercise that are particularly beneficial for this. Most important things are things like high intensity interval training, things like Tabata training, sprint training. All of these things can be very beneficial for increasing the amount of mitochondria we have in our cells and the mitochondria that we have overall in the body. Another form of exercise that can be beneficial, although not so necessarily in terms of increasing the amount of mitochondria in the cell, is resistance training. Resistance training can help increase the amount of cells that we have. There are tons of benefits of resistance training, particularly if it's done in the right way, where it can benefit our posture, our core stability, mobility in the joints, immune system function, many things. And when I talk about resistance training, what I'm talking about here is things like dumbbells or body weight training using dumbbells, free weights, barbells, or even resistance machines that you might find at the gym. Those are forms of resistance training. Some are more beneficial than others, but when it comes to improving your energy levels, you want to be doing one of those forms, whatever works for you. Even things like yoga can actually help benefit, have some resistance effect effectively on the body as well. So those are some of the core things. Another thing to talk about is cardiovascular exercise, that rhythmical movement, running, swimming, cycling, that kind of thing. That again can be useful. It's not the most effective way to improve energy and mitochondria in the cells. That's more the interval type training. But again, it can be beneficial if it's something you enjoy particularly as well. That's even better, because having fun, being playful, especially when it comes to moving our bodies, is particularly beneficial at increasing energy because of the way it affects the biochemistry of the body, increasing a hormone known as orexin in the brain, which actually helps us feel more awake and alert. So that's exercise. The other aspect I want to talk to you about is movement. Now, as I said, movement or physical activity, moving throughout your day, is super important. It's actually been shown that sitting for long periods of time in the day can actually be as harmful and damaging to your health and your energy levels as smoking. That's what the statistics tell us, that's what some research points to. So it's actually, most of us are spending so much time sitting down, it's very detrimental to our energy levels. There's actually ways in which sitting down for a long time can actually damage the mitochondria in the cells, which, as I said earlier, is super important to improving your energy levels. So sitting down, or spending less time sitting down, getting more movement into your day as best you can, even if it's simply just standing up and moving around more, is going to help you. So things that could help with that, simple things, is if you're in an office job where you're desk bound a lot, get out at lunchtime, get moving your body at lunchtime, take regular breaks. If you're making phone calls or sending text messages, stand up, get moving around, move around the office where you can, go and visit your colleague and have a chat rather than do it via email or phone. Simple things that are have an accumulative effect across a period of time can have a big difference in your energy levels, and also will help you burn more calories and lose weight and things like that as well, if that's something you're working on. So that's simple things. And then the other side to it is simply getting more movement in. So we want to avoid sitting down because it's so detrimental to our energy, but actually moving throughout the day helps to build our energy as well in a number of different ways. Some good examples, simple examples, is if you're you live in a city where you've got an underground or tube station, when it comes to getting on the escalator, walk up the escalator, walk up and use stairs as much as possible. If you're working on the 15th floor, maybe you take the first 6 or 7 floors on the stairs, or if you're fit enough and you've got enough time, walk all the way up, walk all the way down. Do as much as you can, look at the opportunities. If you drive to work, park further away. Don't take the nearest car parking space when it comes to going shopping, going to the gym, or wherever you're going in life. Don't get off at the nearest bus stop to your destination. Get off 1 or 2 stops earlier so you can get more movement and exercise in. Don't always take the easy route, basically. Make it more challenging in terms of actually or creating more opportunities really to move your body, and focus on where you can do that, because they might seem like small things, and they are small things in the context of one day, but you repeat that week after week, month after month, year after year, it has a massive effect on your health, your energy and your vitality. So when it comes to movement, that's the simple things you can do, as well as, of course, getting more exercise into your life. And one other thing before I go. Earlier I talked about HIIT training, I talked about Tabata training. If these are new ideas or things that you've never heard of, then check out my YouTube channel. I talk about these things, how to do them, what you need to do on there. So keep an eye out for those kinds of videos. Depending on when you're looking at this video, there may or may not be a video on that yet. It's not up yet. There will be one coming in the near future though. So I'll catch you on the next video.